1945. It's said, from Taihoku the plane took off for the last time. Did the plane really take off? It's said, the plane crashed and Netaji died. Did Netaji really die?
No, Netaji didn't die. He might have gone to Russia or China.
Netaji died in a plane crash.
I think Solmari Sadhu is Netaji.
I think Netaji was kept in Siberia.
Gumnami Baba of Faizabad may be Netaji.
And many more things are said. What remains unsaid is the true story. After 70 years, once again, Netaji has aroused intense curiosity through the declassification. We visited several personalities, Netaji's family members, research scholars, RTI activists, ex-army personnel, and the common man who respected Netaji and are eagerly waiting to know the truth. Magnanimous but enigmatic, such a vivid character made him stand in a crowd since childhood. To perceive and understand this charismatic character, one should know him, rather recapitulate moments which has immortalized him in the saga of Indian independence. Abhijit Rai, Netaji's grand-nephew.
When he was a student of Ravenshaw Collegiate School in Qatar, he initiated a fast on the death anniversary of Khudiram Bose. This particular incident was noted seriously by the then British government, and the principal of Ravenshaw Collegiate School, Mr. Benimathov Das, was called by the British officials and asked about the thing. So this was the start. When he was a student of the Presidency College, he openly objected to the comments made by Oten regarding Indians. But one thing should be noted, when Subhash Chandra Bose as a student leader was called by the principal of the Presidency College, he never uttered any of his friend's name. That is why it was only Subhash Chandra Bose who was rusticated from Presidency College. He went to England to appear for the ICS. He completed the course in 8 months and passed out the ICS by standing fourth in the examination. This proves his determination and extraordinary intellect.
The Great Escape was an incident of momentous historical significance. Dr. Sugata Bose, son of Dr. Shishir Kumar Bose and grandnephew of Subhash Chandra Bose, shares certain unforgettable moments.
যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে তবে একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো
In early December, he called my father, Shishir Kumar Bose, and asked him in Bengali, "Amar ekta kaj korte parbe? Can you do some work for me?" And that work was to drive him out of this house on the night of the 16th, 17th January 1941. The escape took place at about 1:35 a.m. and the car that was used was a Wanderer. My father told us some anecdotes. Subhash Chandra Bose was seated in the back and he offered my father coffee every now and then so that he stayed awake. Among conversations that took place between uncle and nephew of the escape of Iman de Valera, the Irish nationalist leaders from Lincoln prison, how a cake had been sent inside the prison and the impression of a key had been sent out by De Valera to Michael Collins. So, while driving on his Mahanishkraman, the Great Escape, Subhash Chandra Bose and Shishir Kumar Bose were discussing Eamon de Valera's escape from a British prison. My father drove the whole night, and then next morning they reached a place called Barari near Dhanbad. And then after night fell, my father again picked him up and took him up to Gomo station, where he boarded the Delhi-Kalka mail on the way to Delhi and then to Peshawar. And in Peshawar, Mia Akbar Shah received him and organized the rest of the escape across the tribal territories to Kabul.
The journey of Netaji continues from Kabul to Moscow to Germany and then to Japan. From Germany to Japan, the indomitable Netaji journeyed in a submarine for 90 days in the perilous waters. The description narrated by Chandrakumar Bose, Netaji's grand-nephew.
No man on earth has taken this kind of journey a second time. Subhash Bose, when he had to cross over on the coast of Madagascar, he had to cross from the German submarine to the Japanese. Do you know, the seas are very rough off the coast of Madagascar, and the waves were 30 feet high. So the captain of the German submarine advised Subhash Chandra Bose, let us go back to Germany. Subhash Bose told the captain that I have come here not to go back. Please make some kind of way that I could reach the Japanese boat. The captain said that I cannot go closer, because if I go closer, we would dash against and the boat submarine would sink. I can give you a small raft. You can get into that raft and cross over. Subhash Bose opted for the difficult journey of getting into that raft along with Abid Hassan and crossed over to the Japanese boat. The German captain has written a biography where he has quoted that he could see Subhash Bose's raft going up on the high seas and then subsiding through the waves. He never expected that Subhash Bose would reach, but he did.
History reveals Netaji and his INA.
This is Subhash Chandra Bose speaking to Indians in East Asia. Every Indian, no matter where he may be living at the present time, has a duty towards his country, and he must contribute his due share towards the final victory.
Abhijit Rai, Netaji's grand-nephew.
The INA was a real historical chapter in the life of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, where Subhash Chandra Bose was transferred to Netaji. On the 21st of August 1943 in Singapore, he formed the provincial government of Azad Hind, the Arzi Hukumat-e Azad Hind, which was a full-fledged government with its cabinet, with Netaji as the head of the cabinet and also the supreme commander of INA under the provincial government of Azad Hind. This provincial government of Azad Hind was recognized by 9 countries at that time. There was special currencies, special stamps, and it was running full-fledged. Later on, INA headquarters was shifted to Rangoon, and from there Netaji conducted the warfare, and he made the cry of Chalo Delhi, and he declared war against the British Empire.
I am confident that with the help of my countrymen in East Asia, I shall be able to organize such a gigantic force as will be able to sweep away the British power from India. Hour has struck, and every patriotic Indian must advance towards the field of battle. Only when the blood of freedom-loving Indians begins to flow will India attain her freedom.
universal brotherhood and unity was one of the main strength of INA. Dr. Sugarbush.
INA officers who were put on trial by the British in the Red Fort. They were Prem Kumar Saigal, Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon, and Shahnawaz Khan. And in those days, there was a slogan that could be heard, Lal Kile se aaye awaz, Saigal Dhillon Shahnawaz. So he had united all Indians because he believed in cultural intimacy among India's diverse communities, mutual respect. And that is why they dined together before they went to fight together and shed their blood for the cause of India's freedom. There's another story that is very poignant. When Mahatma Gandhi went to see the INA prisoners in the Red Fort, they said that under Netaji's leadership in the INA, they recognized no differences at all. But here the British were serving them tea separately. Mahatma Gandhi asked, why do you suffer it? And they replied, no, we don't. We mix what they offer as Hindu tea and Muslim tea, exactly half and half, and then serve. So that was the spirit of the INA. And we need to remember today that religious harmony was the greatest achievement of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose.
Even during the toughest moment, the brave Jawans of INA kept their life condition high through these light moments.
आजाद हिंद फौज के जवान जब दिन भर बहुत परिश्रम करते थे, शाम को जब भोजन करने अपने मेस में जाते थे तो खाना वाना खाने के बाद फिर सारी कंपनियां इकट्ठे होकर कहते थे चलो भाई जरा मनोरंजन हो जाए, तो वो कहते थे कव्वाली गाया जाए। तो आजाद हिंद फौज की कव्वाली आप सुनिए। भूखे भी लड़े, प्यासे भी लड़े और मौत से फिर भी हम ना डरे, आगे ही आगे बढ़ते गए, हटने का ना पीछे नाम लिया, आगे ही आगे बढ़ते गए, हटने का ना पीछे नाम लिया, जय हिंद का नारा गूंज उठा, हाथों में तिरंगा थाम लिया, जय हिंद का नारा गूंज उठा, हाथों में तिरंगा थाम लिया।
How important was the role of INA and Netaji in the Indian freedom struggle? Ex-Major General G.D. Bakshi.
They had fought the battles of Imphal and Kohima very heroically and fought very well. Unfortunately, by that time, the tide of battle had turned against the Japanese, and the British and the Americans had the advantage of much greater air power. So it is because of the lack of air power that they finally lost the battles of Imphal and Kohima and had to retreat across Burma. But they won the war for Indian independence. How? The fact is that because of the impact of the INA on the British Indian Armed Forces, entire loyalty of the British Indian troops towards the British was shaken up badly. And after the war, the British made the mistake of a gesture of triumphalism, wherein they put on trial officers of the INA in the Red Fort at Delhi. The Red Fort was supposed to be the objective of the Indian freedom struggle. Therefore, it was taken by the people of India as a great humiliation. The 1942 freedom movement had crushed it, but now there was a strong revival all over the country, and the fact was that there were mutinies in the Royal Indian Navy. They put on the Union Jack and they put up the tricolour. And then finally, there were mutinies in the British Indian Army in Jabalpur, in the EME and signal units. And with that, the British said, no further. This is the end.
Chandra Kumar Bose, grandnephew of Netaji.
Lord Clement Attlee was the Prime Minister of Great Britain during the transfer of power. Clement Attlee had come to Kolkata in 1956. At that time, the acting governor of Bengal was Justice Fanibhushan Chakravarti. Justice Chakravarti asked Lord Attlee, what made you leave India? Because Great Britain won the war. So what was the great hurry? Lord Attlee stated it was the Indian National Army, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and subsequently the INA trial completely destroyed the loyalty and allegiance of the British armed forces. This is the main reason why we had to leave India.
Till now, we were with the known aspects of Netaji's life. We again go back from where we had begun. 18th August 1945, the journey of Netaji unknown. To deal with the mystery, 3 inquiry commissions were set up. What was revealed? We went to academician, author Dr. Purbali, researching on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose for the past 20 years.
The first one, the committee was accepted by the government, rejected by the public. The second one is the Khoshla Commission, accepted by the government, rejected by the public. The third one, with all sorts of informations, original primary source of information been analyzed and been put together, that was accepted by the public, rejected by the government.
Chandra Kumar Bose, Netaji's grand-nephew.
There were 3 members on the Shahnawaz committee. Shahnawaz Khan himself. There was Suresh Chandra Bose, Netaji's elder brother, and Mr. S.N. Maitra, who was a civil servant. Suresh Chandra Bose did not accept the Shahnawaz committee's findings, and he submitted a dissentient report which was there with the family members. People of this nation never accepted that Subhash Chandra Bose perished in any air crash. Therefore, the government formed a second committee, that was the Khosla Commission. The Khosla Commission also supported the same air crash theory. The people were not convinced. Therefore, in 1999, formed the Mukherjee Commission. The Mukherjee Commission visited Taiwan. He went to the aerodrome. He scrutinized all the documents and found that there was no record stating that there was an air crash on the 18th of August 1945. In fact, there was no takeoff in Taiwan. He visited the crematorium where Subhash Chandra Bose was cremated. He found that there is a record which states Ichiro Okura was a Japanese soldier who died of a heart failure. It has nothing to do with any air crash. He was cremated at that crematorium, and it is his ashes which have been kept at the Renkoji temple.
Abhijit Rai, Netaji's grand-nephew.
Even in the National Archives of Taiwan, the microfilms Justice Mukherjee went through, it clearly states that there is no news of the air crash. But there is one news which says that Sarat Chandra Bose is released from the Indian prison. So that is more important than the plane crash report.
And then the demand for declassification. What was the seed of thought which germinated into declassification? RTI activist, former journalist and author Anuj Dar.
Some of us got together on internet and formed a group called Mission Netaji. We thought we would settle this case and we'll do something about it. So there the idea was evolved, and luckily for us in 2005 the Right to Information Act was enacted. So we made full use of it and we filed our first application. So this is how we started. There was something like 70,000 pages concerning Subhash Bose's death available. Out of these 70,000 pages, 10,000 pages were released and sent to the National Archive. These 10,000 odd pages were made available to researchers. When I wrote my book 2012, which for the first time highlighted the idea of declassification, and now it's become talk of the town, not just in India. There is a massive interest in public to know about. In fact, the whole issue has remained alive.
Dr. Sugarbush.
Most democratic countries in the world have an archives policy of opening up files after 25 or 30 years. Maybe some very sensitive files can be closed up to 50 years. I believe that all historical files that are more than 30 years old should be opened to the public as well as scholars.
Chandra Kumar Bose, Netaji's grand-nephew.
For the last 70 years, the people of India and Netaji admirers across the world have been patiently waiting to know the truth of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's disappearance on the 18th of August 1945.
Will a new leaf be added to history through this declassification? Dr. Purbali Rai.
Being an archivist and working in the archives, this much I can say, that it is always archival documents, always give you at least some lacunae, at least missing links.
September 2015, 64 files related to Netaji declassified. What was revealed? Chandra Kumar Bose, Netaji's grand-nephew.
These 64 files basically pertain to the surveillance angle. Subhash Chandra Bose and Sarat Chandra Bose's family were kept under surveillance for a period of over 20 years, from 1948 to 1968. The other issue that is coming out of these 64 files is a report by CID Howrah. CID Howrah is putting up a report quoting American and British intelligence sources, where they have stated they feel Subhash Chandra Bose did not perish in any air crash. This report is put up in 1948.
Dr. Purbali Rai.
Recently, West Bengal state government released 64 files on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Among 64 files, during the Mukherjee Commission, around 10 to 12 files were being sent to Mukherjee Commission. So already I went through them. While I was working in Moscow Radio Archive, that time I found that all the broadcast of Netaji from Germany and all, that means 42, 43, 44, 45 during the war periods, that has been transmitted from Moscow radio to India through Khabarovsk and Tashkent. Now there was another para, they are writing that his broadcast of 47, 48, 49 were also being sent to India. In these files released, I found that Shishir Bose, his nephew, is talking about it, and he has given the information to the SB that 47, 48, 49, his broadcast could be heard in Calcutta. So these are the missing links.
After the declassification of the 64 files by the state, in eager anticipation awaits the nation for the declassification of the files with the central government. Abhijit Rai, Netaji's grand-nephew.
We have been in the movement of the total declassification, not only national files but the international files relating to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and the Indian National Army, including the intelligence files.
Dr. Purbali Rai.
This is an international issue, and for Subhash Chandra Bose, so many countries are involved. So it will take some time.
Ex-Major General G.D. Bakshi.
The truth will shortly be coming out. The declassification will start from 23rd of January, from Netaji's birthday. So we hope this mystery will at long last now be solved.
Anuj Dar.
He definitely is in Delhi. All the files are made public. People would know this answer very clearly. There is considerable interest, and this is only going to go, bigger after first tranche of documents. So I think 2016 will be year of Netaji mystery.
Not only his mysterious disappearance, but his larger-than-life personality, his ubiquitous, unique traits which made him a much-loved and a desired hero. Dr. Shugata Bose.
Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, of course, was a larger-than-life figure, a hero. Just think of 1943. He was in Europe at the beginning of the year, but he came by submarine to Asia. He formed and led the Indian National Army established the provisional government of Azad Hind in Singapore in October, and by the end of the year, in December, he was on Indian soil on the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And he electrified his audiences all over Southeast Asia with his speeches, the only soldier statesman India has had in modern times. He genuinely believed in equality. He was also quite philosophical, and he thought about the future, and he had very clear plans about the social and economic reconstruction of India after independence.
The soft side of Netaji recalls Krishna Bose, wife of Dr. Shishir Kumar Bose.
I have heard a lot about what a wonderful uncle he was. Sometimes people who sold cakes and pastries on the street, he would call these people from his window and then ask his nephews and nieces to share it. And officers, they said that they used to tell Netaji at Singapore that, look, Netaji, it's very difficult to say from which nation you come, but we know that you are a Bengali. When the fish comes to the table, your eyes light up. So he was fond of fish. The other thing is, I was very close to our Aunt Amelia, Netaji's wife. I heard a lot about him from our aunt. It is a wonderful relationship, a very affectionate husband. And I felt that we knew Netaji better now as a complete man.
And now we come to the common man.
I am Niladri Banerjee. I am a marketing professional and an entrepreneur. Netaji had been one person who is almost a liberator of India because he fought the last struggle for Indian independence. To our surprise, we found that he is in fact the most remembered hero. But we still don't know about his life after 1945. We expect this declassification to have give us factual evidence about his activities.
मैं कृष्ण मुरारी प्रसाद, मैंने जहाँ तक आदरणीय नेताजी को समझा है, उनकी प्रासंगिकता हर काल में, हर प्रदेश में जीवित है, बहुत ज़्यादा रेलेवेंट है.
I am Arup Kale. I am a journalist. Netaji is not a poster. To me, Netaji is very much alive. I want to know what's happened to Netaji after 1945.
Lakshman Srinivasan. I am a CEO. Netaji is quite alive because his values and principles keep inspiring us. We are eagerly waiting get this declassification to take place. And I think it's a due credit recognition which we need to give to Netaji.
We are hopeful too. We too await the dawn of tomorrow. We hope the new rays and the distant horizon brings the new truth. All the queries must be answered.